saying. Why it is important is just to go back to let's say COVID. COVID changed all the dynamics. You need to review your plans. You came back from COVID, again you need to review. We have very good rains, you need to review. Rains have not been, no, it's a fact. And it's not that you just be bothered about 3 months or 6 months. Actually, whatever you do today will also impact, let's say, future, because we discussed that people is a very, people will make things happen. And hiring people is largely a long-term decision. So you need to be very careful with your planning so that you can get all the right resources in place so that you can manage how to achieve your aspirations. So it's very, very critical that scorecards get reviewed and updated as per how the environment or the internal dynamics might change. So just to conclude, so one thing which I always want to say is that in fact, when there was a small discussion on Rajiv's book Lala. Now I call Lala an oxymoron. See, he's become a Lala today. But what has brought him to this state? Because he had some passion. He took some, let's say he was a driver of business. That's what brought him to a stage where he is now be called a Lala in positive and negative both terms. Okay, the way Rajiv has dealt with it is in both the terms. But the point is that Lala is an oxymoron. So what I want to say is that all those who are part of family business, they're entrepreneurs. They have that passion, that drive, they initiated that business, they have their own work ethics. That's why it's come to that stage. It can get taken to the next stage because of the same parts of let's say characteristics that they have. But it can be structured because when you achieve certain volumes and you can say the size of business, you may be required to be worked in slightly different manner. So that's what we are saying is that ability to find the problem needs to become sharper. So when I can see, hear, or touch things, it's easier for me to understand problems. But when it goes beyond my direction of my, let's say, vision or my hands, then we need to have systems to prevent that problem. So that's what we are saying, that need to have systems so that we can identify the problem. Like I said, finding a solution is not a big issue at all. Okay, but solving it would mean execution, which would mean diligence and discipline once again. So I just want to summarize by saying what we would want to do in this course. Enable you to find the problem and emphasize the need to be diligent and disciplined if you want to execute well or solve the problem. And that's where Tarun's role comes in, because this diligence and discipline is very well ensured by use of technology. So if you recall Tushar's presentation today, the way he is using technology, including, let's say, the those morning meetings and weekly meetings and monthly meetings that he's talking about. So I think technology has a very big role to play, and it's a big enabler for that. Thank you very much, and I might
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, people. Okay, lovely. So, some of you folks, if you just look at your kids, you will have something called as a blueprint for growth. Can you just quickly open that up? Okay. So, the objective of this booklet is actually a self-reflection exercise. there's a purpose we call it devotion. And the reason is that we want you to really go back, look at this, and start wanting and saying, what is it that you're doing good? And what is it that you need where you're not doing so good? Because those are the areas where you can start planning your exercise. So the way we are going to work is, now, if you look at the bank, there is the first page itself has something called as mission, mission, values, right? We request you to pen down what you think the mission, vision, and values are. The next section is about the balance scorecard. In the balance scorecard, we have actually captured the most important metrics which are measured in the industry, right? This is where you need to start thinking about which KPIs are measuring what the target looks like. And that's the thing that you can start to do. So what we will do now is, since we have had 2 sessions, we will quickly go to the technology sections, and then it will be one way to do that exercise, and I will actually help you and guide you to doing that exercise so that you can go back home and do the self-reflection. Okay? Super. So about 70% of the content these days is video. So you will see a lot of videos in today's presentation. Very interesting thing that you should keep in mind is that why is this so important? Today we did polling. You all did polling? Yes? No? It was running from cloud. You all know what cloud is? Right? People are using Google Comments, Google Sheets, Excels, everything is on the cloud. This presentation is running from cloud. So if you just look at the impact, today's session would not have been possible without it. So we will start off with a video and see where the technology is going.
Industrial revolution will be embraced by the country. It's very difficult to try to bridge the gap between a borderless industrial revolution that's being governed by different policies and regulations in each territory and country.
We're always looking for new technology and how it makes the process more efficient, how it makes the quality higher. But one of the things that it's really creating is a need for those that have a technical background.
52% of the encounters with our primary care physicians were handled virtually. Just a massive change.
The technologies available today to scientists, to clinicians, and to everyday people will impact and change healthcare forever.
Humans and machines are assisting each other, augmenting each other with skills.
Humanity itself will be changed with this super intelligence, and we are at the doorstep of that.
So let's do a quick fun. What are these 3 things that you see over here? What's the first one on your right hand side? Alexa, what does it do? So you talk to Alexa, you say, hi, how are you? And then she talks back. For some, he talks back. For some, she talks back. What is it doing at the back? It's able to understand what you're saying. How is that possible? It's only human brains which used to be earlier able to understand the speech, right? Now here we have a device which is understanding the speech. The one in the middle, what is that? Have you done Google picture search anywhere? Taken a snapshot, it tells you, what is it doing? Seeing, believing, understanding what's happening in the real world, right? And able to come back and give you a conclusion. Second most important part of our brain, speech, vision. What is the third one? Have you folks used DigiYatra? Check in, check out, walk Right through the gate, what happens? Your face is recognized. Memory, face, it's able to understand. So look where technology is going. And these are all daily use products that we have now. It's touching your heart and soul, right? And we think technology, what do I need to do in my business? But the fact is, people are making money doing technology innovations, and you are the consumer of that. Now, just flip it around. Think about the fact that how can you as a business start to leverage these things and become a leading edge company? And that's what we are going to look at. Today, whether it's, so let's look at what they're doing. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So what did we see? We actually saw an app, and there are many like this, which are being used by farmers. I've been personally involved in some of these apps, building apps for Andhra and all, where we gave them the power for them to predict what kind of soil they should actually, whether the soil is fertile or not, how much water do I need to give to the farm, the kind of seeds that I can sow, because the weather keeps changing. Earlier, there was a lot of wastage. Today, that wastage has reduced. The output is much better. And that's, I'm talking about a grassroots level. But technology is changing the way family businesses are run. Let's look at another video where this is a two-generation family into a leather product, building wallets, selling wallets. And the way they think about and the way the newer generation thought about technology was very, very different in a traditional business.
My brother and I, a couple of years ago, were out at a restaurant watching a Knicks game. We get really carried away, and the game ends. We get sad. We're sulking home because it's another disappointing loss of a season. Little do we know, our wallets are left behind at the restaurant. We were so abrupt to just leave, and we think to ourselves, we're in the wallet making business. You'd think that by now, if anyone would be clever enough to come up with some way to never lose your wallet again, that someone would have figured it out by now. Lo and behold, we researched the market extensively and nothing. So I created this product. It took about a year to develop the mobile application, and then we brought it to market. Now we sell wallets with this tracker that present a much more unique and improved version of our original products, while it's still at a comparable price. It was completely different from anything that was in the family business's product portfolio. So there was a great tension about bringing in a tech product into a leather goods company. The year is 1892. My great grandfather Joseph is working on his own, barely making it in a dying craft. My grandfather Eugene did the exact same business model, working on his own in a workshop in Vienna. My father, of course, is greatly responsible for the growth we have in terms of bringing my grandfather's concept to America. Obviously, a much wider market than the small local market of just Vienna and Austria. When I first started as a CEO, my dad didn't trust me. My mom was skeptical. My brother was skeptical. We fought for a year about it. But once they saw how the customers, responded to my new products, I think they began to trust me and put greater support behind my ideas. Yes, the principles of integrity and being an honest, good family business, that will always be inherent to Andrew and I. But the ideals and aspirations of Royce have so far transcended and surpassed not just their goals, but their imagination. It's incredible. My goal is to simply accentuate and amplify the legacy left by the previous three generations. I'm not the person I am without the tremendous leadership building and confidence that my parents have in me. And this company, Royce, would simply not exist had not been for the tremendous work ethic and diligence and ideals laid out in the framework of our company by my grandparents and great grandparents.
So there are three very interesting aspects that I kind of picked up from that video. One was what Tushar was talking about in the morning, right? Come back, do something, try and do something different. You are there. Are you a fly on the wall? Are you really changing anything? And then there are conflicts. Like they actually said when they wanted to innovate, the family, they were scared of family, right? They were thinking whether how will family react? But then they also knew the fact that if they have to do something, and that's when they came out with a very, very innovative product. It took them about a year to build that, convince in the family, and then get it out. And they thought about the leather wallet business very differently than what anybody else would think, right? So the motivation here was to actually think about from two lens perspective. How do you be in the family business and still innovate? How do you look out for trends, use the latest technology, and make your products much more smarter? And it's a lifetime value because now from a product which was sold to a user as a wallet has become a lifetime value because now they're also using your app, which means you're collecting data, you need to understand, and you can mine that data so much in the future that you can create new services, line of businesses. So that's why the connected product started to come in. So for the simplified version, right, when a lot of people talk about and say, oh, this is science fiction, I say, no, this is not science fiction. There are three fundamental areas that if you focus on in your overall business, you start to collect the data that was being talked about by Tushar, by Raman sir, and by Rajesh, right? But what do we need? So first pillar that I always call is the customer. Now, when you talk about the customer, you talk about leads, prospects, customer details, order history, service history. That's your one fundamental pillar. Like, do you know your customers well? And the way to know your customer well is by actually capturing the customer data. And that's where one of the important element and the framework comes in is CRM, which is called customer relationship management. Once you start to think from that lens, once you start to think about what I need to capture from my customer, what data should I have, you start thinking about CRM. And then when you know your customer, at the end of the day, you have your organization, right? You have finance to manage, you have budgets to manage, you have inventory to manage, you have processes to manage. And that's where the resource planning comes in, and that's called ERP. And the third, which is the major other part, is the product itself. Like, what are you selling? What are you building? Are you selling e-commerce? Then it's e-commerce as a platform. Are you doing it omni-channel? There are two very important words that I'm introducing and leaving it with you folks. Today, the world is all phygital. You guys know what phygital is? So if you just look at the way we are doing this immersion, you have booklets, you have online polls. Everything is now in a way that it is both physical and digital, right? And that's the term which is coming in, which is phygital. So start thinking about from a product lens perspective that how can your product become phygital in future, right? And that's a lot is possible by the last one which is there, which is called Internet of Things. Today, when you saw that video, which we're talking about saying farmers doing it, or when you saw Tushar's entire presentation where he spoke about machines giving you data about downtime, it's possible because of Internet of Things. You put in small sensor chips on your machine, and suddenly the machine which is lying in the corner becomes alive. You don't want people to actually see, oh, it's down or it's not down. It's giving you the data, right? And that's what the Internet of Things does for you. And that's what you need to start thinking from that lens. So these are three important elements that you need to have. So let's do a quick poll. So we spoke a lot about digital era. Just reflect back on your businesses, your surroundings, or where you are, and start to see how much of this digital are you using as technology, tools, factories for your competitive edge. Awesome. Actually, it's quite a healthy poll. If I say almost 50% are actually saying that yes, they do it. 40% are saying partially. But then it comes back to me and kind of reflects on what Raman sir spoke about. Where do we want to go in future? Because this is the reality of today. And the way, and I would say over last 1 year, Like I have been working on AI for close to about 5 years now. But if I just look at last 1 year, the way things have changed, it has completely disrupted the way we used to think. Today, you can create presentations, music, videos, images. So human brain, people always said the process will be automated, but it's the creativity which will last. And suddenly comes these awesome tools in the market where you give a prompt and it creates an image for you. The other day, I was actually creating a video and I wanted a very, very unique music at the background. I didn't want any IP conflict. I went to a site. I actually said, generate a music for this environment, for this target audience, and it created the music for me. And that's the kind of disruption we are seeing in the market. Now, if I just start to think about it from that lens and reflect back, how are you thinking about your customers now? Do you have information? Can you actually start to think and start mining it? Do you have systems where you can get your budgets, financial data? Because we spoke about all those good things that are required in KPIs and dashboard, but you need systems, right? So do you have the systems to actually be able to do that stuff? And that was the answer that typically comes out in the industry, which is partially. And again, one size doesn't fit all. So we need to be very, very clear in terms of where we are, what is a burning problem, and that is what we need to fix now. If I don't know much about my customers, focus on CRM. If I don't know much about my entire financial planning, inventory, focus on ERP first, right? And that's where what I would say is the booklet that we have given you has all these things for you to do a self assessment on. And when you do a self assessment, there will be areas of importance that will come. Any technology investment not aligned to your business goal is a waste of money. So think about what is burning in my business or where do I see a growth of opportunity? And then say, this is the important area that do not have in my technology infrastructure and I need to implement. With this, yep. So Tushar showed you the dashboard, right? So what we will do is we'll quickly actually see a working dashboard and how it looks like. Can you just bring me? Yes. Okay. So very similar to what we just spoke about, I'm showing you 3 live dashboards. Some of these dashboards were actually built using Excel. Some of these dashboards were actually built using the data from ERP and CRM systems. But what this gives you is the ability to slice and dice the data. For example, here, if you have multiple line of businesses, you can actually go back and get the real-time data from that. So if you just look at it, the data will change based on what you select. So if I want to look at March, it will give me March data. If you want to look at April, this will give you April data. Again, the most important underlying system are ERP, CRMs, even Excels. It doesn't matter where the data is. These are the tools that are now available in the market where you can bring all the data from different parts of your businesses and show as a unified dashboard. So moving back to the presentation. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think we did have a answer to this question about do we have a dashboard, do we not have a dashboard? So I'll skip that now. Yeah, we can skip that. And now let's quickly look at how the world is changing. We have all heard of AI. Is it scary? Is it friendly? What is it? What is it? Friendly? Not people are saying it's not scary. Happy to see this because a lot of time we get into that conflict and problems. Okay, so let's look at this video.
I am an explorer. searching for the origins of our universe. And charting a safer path to other worlds. I am a helper, moving us forward one step at a time, and giving voice to every emotion. I am a healer, modeling the future of medicine. And finding a needle in a haystack when every second counts. I am a visionary, uncovering masterpieces lost to the ages. And finding new adventures in a galaxy far, far away. I am a builder. Driving perfection in everything we create. I am even the narrator of the story you are watching. And the composer of the music. And when the world faces its greatest challenge, I give us the power to take it on together. I am AI.
This videos, narration, music was composed by AI itself. But when we look at something like this, right, we typically ask, is this the future? Is it for me? Do I need to do anything? No, it's way far in the future. I don't need to be bothered about it. But we saw in the first slide how organizations are creating Alexas of the world, right? And are actually you are you a consumer to that. Your smartwatches, your phones, everything is already something that you're using. So it's not future. And what I'll do is I'll show you a real demo. These are two projects that I'm currently working on where voice, images, and intelligence are being used. The first example is of a retail store. This retail store is wanting to expand to 5 other chain of stores. The problem statement was where I'm buying this store, I won't have enough changing room and trial rooms. So what do I do? So we are designing a wall, and that wall will actually be able to give you a reflection like a mirror. You show the garment, and you will be able to see yourself in that garment. So I was trying this out. So the first image that you see is the image that I have provided. Then I had bunch of these garments, which I said I want to try. And on the left-hand side, it actually showed me wearing that garment. So my daughter wanted to have fun. So you see a Mickey Mouse one over there is the one that I'm wearing. The next one, a shirt. The next one, a blazer. So imagine a small business problem that somebody came to us about and saying, how do I open these stores? I don't have enough trial room. I typically find men doing impulsive buying. Can I do something immediately? We researched, we found a model which is available on Open source, we have tested this model, and now we are going to be building app on this. A simple mirror app. Next. So there is a business which actually does AC servicing. This AC servicing, I saw this when I was in Hyderabad. So what they used to do was for the engineer to confirm back to the organization that I have serviced the AC, they used to take a picture of the AC standing like this, and then they used to write on WhatsApp saying, I have fixed the AC. The problem was the company had no idea how many are fixed, how many are not fixed, how do I plan my inventory? And then the genius came up and they said, oh, give an app to the service engineer. So they gave an app to the service engineer. And when you give an app to a service engineer, it is very difficult for a service engineer to capture the data. They are not into English. They are into servicing ACs. They are not into typing on WhatsApps. So what we did was we have created this interesting app.
यहाँ इनके एसी में थर्मोस्टेट का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था
This is my
और
voice.
कंप्रेसर में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था, वो मैंने पार्ट रिप्लेस कर दिए हैं और ये ठीक हो गया है.
So you take a picture, you speak to it, and it converts that Hindi into English. It takes out the word, and auto service created a ticket to say, so compressor and thermostat has been replaced. So it creates a ticket. You know at the back what part has been changed. The simplistic way for a service engineer to fill the form. That's voice, right? So that's the kind of power of AI that we are talking about. So when people talk to me, AI is future, I say, reflect back on your business. Just look at three things: voice, vision, and translations. And if you can find a use case, there is enough open source technology that is available today for you to automate that business for yourself. So that's what AI is, and that's what the future is.
Yep.
So at the end, what I wanted to leave with you was, again, I think Raman sir pointed out in his second slide, which said, some people go so far and some people go beyond. There's nothing wrong in going so far and go beyond. It all depends on what your vision is, what your context is, where you are. But I want to leave you with a memory of two videos. The first video is where an automotive part manufacturer uses systems to become much better. And the second video will be about somebody who has had a legacy business on how they are transforming their business using the cutting edge technology to improve their products, not just their processes and automation.
The business was started in 2005 by my elder brother. After 2011, when I joined this business, I introduced almost 17 to 18 different categories, different products to this business. So all these different verticals we have created, right from the safety of your car paint, to the security of your car, to the customized interior of your car, to the need of a high-end car audio inside your car. 2005 to 11, when the product started coming in, the inventory started building. By the time 2020, it was hell lot of inventory. We were not knowing anything about the stock. So since then, we decided to have something which can help us grow our business. Somehow I landed on a Facebook page, my current partner, Straightworks. So they were taking some kind of a webinar online. I attended that 5-day webinar. I decided that I will go with the Straightwork, and we shifted to Zoho to change the way we do business.
Their major issue was that the physical inventory lying in their godowns and the inventory in the books was never matching. So they had to physically basically go and check whether, this part is available or not.
Zoho Inventory was my, I guess, fifth or sixth software like I've been using. Earlier then I was using a software called Mark, even a local ERP software. Due to the complexity of the software, all the softwares are like machine dependent. You can't use a multi-user in that. You have a warehouse at different place, you have a store at different place, you have got accounts at different place, you have to make a multiple bills, You are dependent on only one guy who is making a bill for you. So there are a lot many challenges involved in this software. But the time when we switch to Zoho Inventory, you can categorize the product the way you want. Let it be by their brand name or let it be by the category.
You got a gist of it, right? A small business looking at technology to solve the real world problem. Off the shelf, multiple products are available. So what we have also done is just to give you folks a sense in terms of identifying your business problem and saying what is the tool that can be actually applied to it. We have created in your toolkit, which you will be getting, bunch of these examples of softwares that are available for collaboration, for ERP, for CRM, and you can reflect on them and see which is the one that you want to implement. Now, this is another very, very nice example, and I kind of always say Indian gems are always hidden. It took me a lot of research to actually find out 3 generations of business which have actually done, started from a very small. I don't think we talk a lot about our businesses the way we do with businesses in India, but let's look at this video. Uh, Common switches, right? We all use switches at home. So let's look at this ad.
ऐप से टीवी, फैन, कर्टन सब कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। आई विश आपको भी कर सकते हैं।
मेरे लिए ऐप की क्या जरूरत है? आप है ना?
Gold Medal Home Automation से बनाओ घर को smart home at the click of a button.
Amazing. Product innovation, and if you just and you can scan the QR code and know more about the company, but that's how they started. A small shop selling switches. And with every generation, they actually improve. So from selling switches to manufacturing switches, plastic switches, because they always had an eye on what's coming next. And that is how they transformed their product. So when they saw the market opportunity of connected switches, home connected systems, they grabbed that opportunity. And today they're about a 1,400 crore company. 3 generations, but always leading edge of innovation. So one side, while you automate your processes, have great dashboards, the other side gives you an opportunity to create.
Happy Holi. The lunch is working very well, I guess. Is it? No, no, I'm good. Thanks. Okay. So good evening, everyone. So during Raman sir's presentation, in between, he said, "Who will take us there?" And then he took my name, Avishkar, and there was a brief pause. And I was like, "I'm not going to take them there. They will go on their own, right? Along with the team." So before we get into the session, get into what we have in store for you, let's do a quick poll since that's the norm. You get into a session, there is a poll. So over here, we are going to have consecutive polls quickly. That's my name. Let's go to the next one. This was not the one. People. How well defined are roles and responsibilities in your organization? Not defined, somewhat defined, clearly defined. Okay. Okay, so we have some responses over here where we are saying not defined and somewhat defined. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. Keep in mind what Raman sir had said. Vision, mission, balanced scorecard, where are we going, what's our true north. The next question, I think I went up, yeah. Do you have structured programs for leadership development?
programs, basic programs. Okay, fair. 83% no programs, fine. We'll come back to that as well. Next, how effectively are performance management systems aligned to goals? Should be aligned? What should be aligned? Some more responses due. Okay, congratulations to the 30% who have fully aligned, and the rest we'll talk about. Okay, so we did all these polls. Have you heard about Dr. Velubani? No. Huh? Yeah, you can raise that. Okay, he's a founder. He was a molecule scientist in his earlier avatar, and he's now he's the founder of a diagnostic firm called Thyrocare. Okay, there's a short clip I want all of us to hear, and he talks about people and how he's been and what has he been practicing from a people standpoint, right?
I'm a days trained man is equal to 1,000 days trained with competition. You know, man, you train specific. No. You need to keep an assembly line now. But it's assembly line. Fresh लेते जाओ वो fresh अगले दिन चिकन काम करेगा नेक्स्ट डे चिकन काम करेगा 3 महीना खत्म होता है वो फुल काम करेगा इतनी लोकल ट्रेन so this assembly line once it is there the senior most man you can allow to go every organization has got underpaid assets and overpaid liabilities actually enterprise underpaid underpaid assets and overpaid liabilities. So if you only get rid of liabilities, if you don't have resources to replace, okay, let me tell you, this is very important factor on response. An employee needs stamina, discipline, intelligence, focus. Stamina लेकिन कि वो पूरा महीना में 6 दिन लेता है in one evaluation removes time analysis. The second one is discipline. Coming in time, going in time, sitting not sitting anywhere. No, very good employee for discipline. The discipline नहीं होता है quarter में निकालो. क्यों? The third one is intelligence. अगर intelligence नहीं है, एक साल में नहीं है, you will live mentally. So year one whatever, you remove the guy who is not intelligent. After 5 years, you remove the guy who cannot focus. You want to focus on the customer. It's not working.
Okay. By the way, he runs a 5,000 crore firm. Okay, he's a founder of an organization which is worth 5,000, top line 5,000 crore. It's a large organization. So what do we think? Is it easy to do what he said? Very simple, he said, right? Hire, train, evaluate, let people go, right? And run it like an assembly line. Underpaid assets and overpaid liabilities. Get rid of the liabilities and run it like an assembly line. What does this assembly line mean? How does it look like? So hire new people. The focus is on hiring, right? But how do you do that? Do you have an organization design? Do you have an ability to plan for the workforce required for your ambition, for your vision, which you have set for yourself, right? Where do we want to go? How big we want to become, right? What organization will help us to go there? And what is the planning around the workforce to fill up that or create that organization? Post that job descriptions of all of these people. Do they have, are those clearly defined from roles and responsibilities standpoint? What are the competencies required? What are the skills required to perform those jobs? Hiring process, right? If you're going to build a large organization, you are going to keep doing hiring. Do you have the right process? Do you have the right channel to source people? Do you have the right assessment to screen people? Do you have the right interview panel who are trained in interviewing skills to conduct those interviews and select the right people to come and fill up those jobs? Right? And then if you are going to hire freshers, do you have campus program? Well-defined campus program. Where are we going? Where are we hiring from? What kind of numbers are we looking at? All of that. And that's what is hiring, right? So just hiring people is not so easy. There is a lot of work which happens at the back. What was the second thing he said? Train. Okay? Train them. How will we do that? Individual development plan. Is there a plan clearly defining what technical, functional, leadership training needs to be provided to that person? They can come into the organization, but then they need to work. And if they need to work, how they need to do that? How do they need to perform that job? Is there a clear-cut training program around that? Assessing their current skills versus the future skills. There is you bring in a person, they get trained, but they are there to do your current job. Or you can bring them basis what their current skills are, but what is required in future. You are a growing organization. Where are you going to grow? What kind of business are you creating? And for that, do people have the required skills? Individual contributors become manager, right? Are they ready to be a manager? Have they learned how to lead people ever in their life? Did anybody teach them? Right? It's very easy. The guy is great in his job, promote the person, let them lead a team of 10 people. 10 people sounds very small, but there are 10 lives, right? And there is a huge responsibility as a team leader to manage people, right? How do you train them? How do you make them become a better manager? Then he said, you remember, he said M1, Q1, Y1, Y5, right? How do you take those decisions at that toll gate? By evaluating. You have to evaluate people, you have to evaluate performance. So is there a performance management framework? Right? Are there clear, smart goals called out? Right? Raman sir spoke about balance scorecard, and that's the structure from where the KPIs and KRAs come out. Defining what are the objectives of each and everybody in the organization, what are they supposed to deliver? Is there a strong process from an execution standpoint? You have a framework, but it also needs to get executed, right? Like an assembly line. Compensation structure. So what happens when the performance is evaluated? If the performance is high, where are we? What is that we are going to do? If the performance is low, what is that we are going to do, right? What kind of increments are we going to give them? What kind of incentives we have in place? What are the benefits we have in place? And recognition and awards. How are we going to recognize good performance? How are we going to recognize good behaviors? Values, behaviors are the most important part of the culture, right? You have values. How do those values get exhibited? It gets exhibited by the behaviors. And if a good behavior is getting exhibited, do we have a way to recognize that, motivate, and keep the employees engaged? And what was the last part? Let them go. I think one part did not come up over here. And he said that in my organization, people said, "Sir never brought anybody above us." You know, he says that. And what does that mean? That means this cycle was happening, but there was also a very clear career growth plan, succession planning in the organization. So if somebody goes, who's going to grow? How are they going to grow? Right? So it's not only about performance, it's also about potential. Can people do that larger role? Right? So he said, you if you have a good, strong input of people coming in, you can let the old people go. So if somebody decides and says, I'm going to go and work somewhere else, somebody from internal pipeline is going to come up and grow and take over that larger role. And that's what is about career growth plan. Do people know how they are going to grow in the organization? Vertically, laterally, cross-functionally, right? And the next is succession plan, knowing who is going to take over what role, or who is the successor for which role in the organization. It's not about the individual, it's about the role. Who can do that particular role in case something happens to the incumbent? And the last is exit process. If you're going to let people go from a performance standpoint, or from potential standpoint, or from skill standpoint, how is that going to get managed? Because ultimately, people are your ambassadors, whether they are inside your organization or they are outside your organization. Right? Many a times that happens. People will call up and they may know it's somebody in the network. If they get a job offer or a call from someone, they'll ask, "Yaar, ye company kaisi hai?" Right? Talks about the culture of the organization. Right? So if the guy is not the guy is your ambassador, but maybe in a negative way, or if it's a positive way, then definitely it's a plus point for you as an organization. So I think at a high level, this is what gets defined as the assembly line, right? And I'll give you an example of one of our clients in the paint industry. We worked with them, and some of the areas we touched in around performance management and hiring. And what did we do over there? But primarily, if this structure is to be done, there is a lot of work which goes into this in the back end. Oh yeah, the most important thing. This is where tech comes in. All of this needs to be done basis data-based decision, right? You can't wake up on a certain morning and say, this is what I'm going to do with that person. If you need to take certain actions or decisions, that needs to be based on data. And for that data, you need, what do you need? Systems, right? So that becomes again an important part to have in the organization and understand how it can support you. So how does this paints organization did, and what did they do? So they basically first uh, had a talent management approach where they said we're going to have a very clear performance management, we're going to have a career planning and development discussion, talent review, health of the organization and people, and succession planning. So this is a large high level plan which they had for people. And then they got into, when will we do these activities, right? So through the year, how will this talent management, and talent management is basically people management, right? We can use it interchangeably. That how and when are we going to do what? So we will have a goal setting and year-end review process for the previous year. We will move into Q1 where we will have career conversations, development conversations, growth plan. What is how people are going to grow? How the organization? Where is the organization heading? What is the kind of org design we need? Workforce planning, all of that. We'll again do talent review and succession planning meetings in Q2. And then there is a part which is ongoing. This people are working continuously through the year, right? So there is also performance which is happening through the year. It's not only that it's happening at the end of the year. So what is how you're going to have that conversation with people through the year for them to know how they are doing. So it's an ongoing conversation on career and development, and quarterly goal revisits. We'll review performance in the organization. And obviously this goes level 3, level 4 into more. And obviously this goes level 3, level 4 into more detail in terms of what training programs, how will it be assessed, how will it be trained, and how will you measure the impact. And then obviously there is a succession planning. The whole organization, at least they started with the top first 2 layers in terms of who in the organization is ready to succeed somebody or move into larger roles. And that's the one of the templates. In hiring, they basically went from job descriptions with only qualification requirement, no assessments, only interview, to job descriptions with competencies, skill levels, roles and responsibility, psychometric and competency-based assessments for screening, very clear defined campus program, and external branding strategy. On the evaluation part, which is performance management, they had only financial goals, functional alignment with the MD, and an annual review. And they made that shift to go into balanced scorecard implementation, which Raman sir spoke about earlier, had a very clear SMART goals aligned to the strategy of the organization. Where does the business need to go? What is that they want to do? How and what will get evaluated versus only what getting evaluated, right? Well, how do you achieve those targets are also important. Cross-functional visibility and alignment, continuous feedback system, training of managers to provide. I spoke about that. So the purpose of implementing this performance management was evaluate performance, reward performance, and fuel the performance. Evaluate, reward them if what performance they are delivering, and help them to enhance their performance more by providing them support. So we have the toolkit, the book which you have, the blueprint. You will have a section over there which is around people. So you may want to go to second last page, and you will see leadership development. So leadership structure, empowered decision making, leadership metrics. So you may want to do a little bit of quick self-reflection over here. See what works for you, what's existing, what are your thoughts around it, what you would like to do. On your way out, you'll also get a leader's handbook. And this again has the same template, which you can use with your team back in your business to do some reflections and have come up with your action items in terms of what you want to do. What does the team think about these areas? And there's also a reflection card which you will get in the kit while heading out. We'll request you to jot down your quick top of the mind reflections you have around the vision, mission, uh, balance scorecard, digital roadmap, and people and organization heat map. What are your immediate actions which you think you can do, or whatever first thoughts which come to your mind, and just pass it on to people outside, our colleagues who are at the desk. And it looks like this. Okay, I hope, yeah, I can see people engaged. Please continue. I'm not going to interrupt. Capture your points. Cool. So with that, the immersion section of covering these four topics come to an end. And but I hope you are able to do some self reflections on the template which has been shared with you. I hope you find it useful. Like I said, on your way out, please gather the handbook and take it back to your team and have that conversation along with your team. Thank you, and you have a rest of good evening.
From Warwick University and is also a fellow of Yale University. Let's hear from her now.
Hi guys. Okay, so I think we need to change the energy of this room. Sorry, if you're not sleeping, I am. So I think we all need to get up. So please get up, stand up, move around. You're not gonna sit where you were sitting. Change your seat, change your partners, uh, shake your shoulders, shake your legs. Please go upstairs. I don't want anybody in the first three rows. I need to see everybody, okay? So please, I don't need anybody on the left and the right. There are very few people in the room. Can you please come in the center? Don't sit so fast, Avishkar. Come on, you just moved 4 steps. Come on. You're fine. Okay, nobody's sitting where they were sitting. I know people, they were hardly. Please get up. Switch. Everybody switch. I mean, you're also welcome to stand and, if you're tired of sitting, just stand, honestly. But feeling better? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think standing will help. So those who've been sitting for long can stand on the sides, sit on the stairs, just be very casual, right? Yeah? Feeling better? Are you sure? Doesn't look like it. Come on, guys. Feeling better? Okay, do this. Imitate. Yeah, shake your arms, shake your shoulders. Come on. Yeah? Okay, we'll leave you to that. है ना कुछ हाँ और ये बहुत ज़्यादा bright है but it's okay. Okay, while they're doing this, can I just get a briefly couple of people who have registered for the program, who've come here, not as speakers or media or part of Masters Union, but those who are here. Okay, and you want to just talk about your background? I mean, just your industry, your experience. Okay, and anybody else? Sure, go ahead. Welcome, Harshit. Okay. Okay. Anybody else from the family businesses? How old are you? How old are you? Great. Anybody else? Yeah. And how long have you been in business? Very nice. Anybody else? Great. All right, guys. So I'm sorry, I was just asking because I don't want to say something which is not going to be relevant to you guys, right? So I wanted just an idea of um, how much hardship of business have you really dealt with? So welcome. This is going to be I think the finale session. I won't make it boring, right? Sorry to change the brief, but we'll talk a little more. Who's going to show the time? I'll be happy to keep a watch. Where am I supposed to look at? Okay, how much time do we have? Okay, so I think, guys, I'm not here as any specialist or domain specialist, right? I'm here just to share what I have learned being in a family business, right? Just like you, I joined my family business, and I was right after college and coming from a business family. And I'm sure those who are part of business families, इसमें कोई choice नहीं होती है. आपको choice दी गई थी? कोई कभी पूछा गया था कि आना है कि नहीं आना है? कोई choice नहीं थी, right? I mean, you got the choice. There's always a choice. Of course, there's always a choice, but there's also a very strong inertia, right? It's a yeah, yeah, I guess I don't know. I was too young to understand what it was, right? And I'm sure at 23, 24, you really don't understand what is a choice, what is a trade-off. Am I being asked? Am I being told? I mean, of course, this was also 22 years back, so kids are way smarter today. But so I'm here. I'm just going to talk about मेरी जर्नी कैसी थी, मैंने क्या सीखा, मुझे क्या लगता है कि जो लोग फैमिली बिजनेस को ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं उनको किस नज़रिए से इस बिजनेस में जाना चाहिए, इस रोल को लेना चाहिए, एंड व्हाट अकॉर्डिंग टू माय लाइफ journey has been the must haves of being successful in your family business, right? um, so I think this is my journey. Started as a management trainee in 2003. Worked, there was no HR that time. So I was told कि HR department आपको बनाना है and HR manuals लिखनी है, processes बनाने हैं, systems करने हैं. So we were not a very large organization at that point in time. We were, I think when I joined, we were somewhere about 25, 26 crores. And but everything was very new to me. I was very excited. बहुत एनर्जी होती है, बड़े सारे आइडियाज होते हैं, आप कुछ भी करने को तैयार होते हो, और राइट आपको बोला जाता है कि अब आप ये क्रिएट करें, तो you're filled with the drive to do it. My first 5 years were very exciting. Of course, I mean, not to say I'm not excited now, but my first 5 years were very exciting because I used to like, मैं फैक्ट्री में ही सो जाऊंगी, मैं कहीं पे भी रह लूंगी, मेरे को सुबह जाना है, वहाँ पे 7 बजे पहुंचना है, रात के 10 बजे तक काम करना है, मतलब. And Saturday, Sunday, it was like, don't ask me, I'm not coming home. I'm going to be with my friends and we'll drink and we'll party. And then Monday morning, sharp, I was at work. And it was very empowering and very, very exciting because all my friends were doing this, right? And of course, we created a lot of systems, we put things in place. And then suddenly I was told, they were, of course, from a management trainee to a manager to a senior manager. And then suddenly one day I was told, you're the director, which is not too far, which is just 6 years down the line, right? And I said, आप director बन गए, and अब आपके नीचे finance, HR, IT, systems, ये सारे department आपको देखने हैं, नई नई responsibility मिलती है, नया नया role मिलता है, नया नया title मिलता है, आप at that age, right? You really don't understand what a director means. You really don't understand what it means to lead a team. And I think at somewhere, these titles are very confusing. Let me tell you, in business families and smaller businesses, titles come very cheap, right? How many of you are already directors? Right? I mean, you look fairly seasoned in business, but how many of you who've just joined work in the first 2 years, 3 years have become directors? Right? Already. You're 24, you're a director. Dude, what are you going to become when you're 40? Right? I mean, there's no designation left now. So what I'm saying is that for me also, I didn't want it, but this title came to me and it was completely premature, right? I didn't understand what it means. And then from a director, I went on to becoming a joint managing director, right? And then there were more functions which were kind of, I was given responsibility of. And then suddenly there was a time, and by 17, I think I was quite seasoned in the sense that I knew my business, right? By 17, I knew what we do. We were 100 plus, 140, 50 crores. I understood what my product is. I understood what my customer is. I understood who my vendors are. I understood क्या चलता है, क्या नहीं चलता है, right? And how many of you are working with your fathers and uncles? Right, all of you, right? Easy job? Not an easy job, right? Nobody told you this, right? Did anybody prepare you to work with your dad professionally? किसी ने आपको काम पे जाने से पहले बताया था? कि भाई साहब आप अपने पिताजी के जूनियर होने वाले हैं या वो आपके बॉस होने वाले हैं और वो जो घर पे दिखते हैं वो वैसे बिल्कुल नहीं है वहाँ पे, राइट? बट ये कोई बताता नहीं है एंड इसके लिए कोई तैयार नहीं करता आपको. एंड आई थिंक of course you can learn through experience, right? But my job today, or the only message I want to tell you today, is that there is learning and understanding how people have gone through this, and it's a hard transition. Working with your family is not an easy thing to do. It wasn't for me, let me tell you. मेरे लिए तो नहीं था. बहुत ईगो फाइट होती है शुरू में, राइट? आपको समझ नहीं आता आप सही हो कि वो सही है. आपको समझ नहीं आता कि आपको फ्रीडम मिल रही है काम करने की कि आपको सिर्फ इंस्ट्रक्शन मिल रही है काम करने की, राइट? It's very confusing. And there's nobody there, especially your mother's not going to answer these questions for you, right? All you're told is be patient. Patience. थोड़ी और patience. थोड़ी देर बाद थोड़ी और patience. Right? That's what is being told, right? And of course, if I look at my 20-year journey, this has been the biggest learning, patience. And in the end, everything delivers. But so that was my journey, right? Director, some director, other director, whatever director. Now I don't understand that word. I don't think it has any meaning, right? But what's more important in this journey, which I think you should take back, is there's nothing in a name, okay? आपको चाहे मैनेजर बोला जाए, आपको चाहे डायरेक्टर बोला जाए, आपको चाहे टीम लीडर बोला जाए, you are a successor to that business. You have to understand that business, right? So don't get entitled with that name. Honestly, in the first few years of your working, that has no meaning, right? So don't get attached to that. And the real power is not in what your title is. It's what you're delivering. It's not in how many people are reporting to you. It's what you are value adding to the people around you. It's not how many people are calling you boss and doing a salute or getting scared when you walk inside the office. It's how many people are coming and telling you the problems that they face. These are very, very different things, right? I think I learned this slowly, very slowly, sometimes painfully, sometimes, in a very natural frame of mind. But it is a realization, right? That your name, your title does not matter in a family business. It's only what you add value. And that value is not going to come immediately. So don't be hard on yourself. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप आज गए और आज आपने जाते ही वहाँ पे कोई जादू की छड़ी से कुछ बदल देना है. ऐसे नहीं होने वाला है, right? What are my life lessons? When we come in as young enthusiasts, abroad trained, abroad educated, or educated from here also, good universities, good exposure, good to communicate in, right? Which are usually things that you don't find in small business houses. आपको लगता है मेरा concept है, मैं एक नया concept लेके आया हूँ. And your seniors have the experience. And then suddenly you don't realize this, but you're doing a match against them, right? It's this tussle. Your concept, their experience. होता है कि नहीं होता है? होता है ना? और फिर आपको लगता है यार मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं इनको समझ में आ रहा, और वो कहते हैं यार मेरा एक्सपीरियंस आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा, right? But later you realize, guys, this is not a boxing match. It's not about punching each other and who has a larger force. It's about collaborating, right? It's about learning from the experience and adding the new concept, right? So don't ever go inside that room thinking कि बस आज तो मैं अपना concept हाँ करवा के ही आऊँगा। हाँ, आज देखते हैं कैसे हाँ नहीं बोलेगी। होता है ये। I've gone through this. I have seen this, right? But it doesn't work. I have failed miserably in the first 10 years of my life because I was just not following the right perception, right? So it's not a boxing match, right? It's not a game of credit. Who gets the credit, right? We're all humans. हम सबको तारीफ चाहिए, हम सबको acknowledgement चाहिए, हम सबको चाहिए कि हमें ये बोला जाए कि ये ना इनकी वजह से हुआ है, ये जो अच्छा हो रहा है आज ये इनकी वजह से हो रहा है, right? Guys, you're too new in the system. You might get it sometimes, but a lot of times you're not going to get it. Okay? So be prepared. Relax. You're here for the long run. You're not here for a year or two. It's fine. It's okay. Right? थोड़ा सा अपना दिल बड़ा करें because आपको initially आते ही कोई तालियां नहीं मारना शुरू कर देगा आपके लिए. Right? It's okay. But to reach that emotional state of to say that it's okay, it needs a lot of training. Right? So every time you think, यार आइडिया तो मेरा था, देखा मैंने कहा था ना ऐसे करेंगे तो हो जाएगा, मैंने कहा ये आता है कि नहीं आता, ये तो जरूर आता है, देखा मैंने कहा था ना, see I told you. The moment you hear yourself saying this, see I told you, देखा मैंने कहा था ना, pause. कुछ गलत कर रहे हो, right? You're new to the system. You're just 2 years old, 3 years old, somebody's 4 years old, 5 years old. The system is much older than you, right? Understand. You seek to understand before you are understood. I mean, it's not my line. It's a very, very common law, right? So remember, आप नए हैं, वो पुराने हैं, right? नए वालों को हमेशा थोड़ी मेहनत ज़्यादा करनी पड़ती है. That's the other thing I feel. The moment we entered, there was this entitlement of respect. And बहुत जगह मिलती है, ऐसा नहीं है कि मिलती नहीं है, मिलती है, but you can tell कि वो respect आपको competency के लिए कर रहा है, या वो respect इसीलिए कर रहा है because you're the boss's son or the boss's daughter, right? You've had a parachute landing, you are now their boss, right? Who've probably been working there for the last 10 years, 12 years, or even longer, right? Have the understanding. You're very new in the system, right? Well, they have no option but to respect you. But why are they respecting you? Why? Right? And don't have an entitlement to that respect. Right? Don't have that. Because that again is a recipe of disaster. आप कुछ भी बनाएंगे, आप कुछ भी करेंगे, कोई भी सिस्टम बनाएंगे, कोई भी आइडिया लेके आएंगे, can it be improved? Are you willing to accept that? Yes. आप बहुत एक्साइटेड होके कुछ बनाते हैं, एक सिस्टम बनाते हैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, and then suddenly you're shown that, oh, but this has this, and this missing. Right? What's your reaction? How do you feel? Be honest, guys. I mean, you're not going to see me again, so I mean, it's fine. What's your reaction? है ना? इतना मैंने मेहनत करी यार, मैंने सारी रात पढ़ा, मैंने अब AI भी यूज करा, मैंने ये भी बनाया, मैंने इतना सारा करा, अब तुम कह रहे हो इसमें 36 चीजें है ही नहीं. Right? How do you feel? होता है, मेरे अभी भी होता है. 25 साल बाद भी होता है. But now I don't look at it that something is missing. My perception now is that anything that I do can be, it can be improved. So if someone's giving me an input, let me not just shrug it away. Let me listen to it. Because it's in my interest, right? But it's taken me 20 years of taming my ego, of understanding myself, of calming my responses, to now not react to something like that, right? Of being very, very open to criticism or critical evaluation. अच्छी चीज़ होती है, बहुत पेनफुल होती है, बहुत पेनफुल होती है, पर अच्छी होती है, right? So trust me, my learning is have one or two critics next to you. एक होना चाहिए जो थोड़ी थोड़ी देर में ऐसे कुछ चबा दे आपको, अच्छा नहीं लगता है, पर सेहत के लिए अच्छा होता है. Who are you seeking validation from? And please don't say social media, guys. No. Dude, I mean, God has to punish the guys who made social media. But please don't say social media, okay? Where are you seeking validation from? Your 25 to 30-year-olds? I'll be very happy if that's it. I'll be very happy, but honestly, you also know that's not the real truth. Okay? Please stop dying for those likes. You know, the world doesn't care. Your shelf life on social media is not even like 5 minutes. One reel is like, it's a flick. One flick. Do you remember your previous reel? Zero memory, zero memory. Who are you seeking validation from? If you are seeking validation, and anybody in the age of 25 to 30 is seeking validation. Been there, done that, I know it happens. चाहिए होता है कि जो तुम कर रहे हो वो ठीक कर रहे हो. कोई चाहिए होता है ये बोलने को, right? But कौन बोल रहा है आपको ये? किससे सुनना चाहते हो ये? फालतू जनता से तारीफ सुनने की आदत मत डालो, right? Will it make a difference to you if you walk out and anybody who's walking down the Masters Union or this cyber cafe says, sir, you're very good at what you do. Sir, आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, sir. Ma'am, you're very good. Will you take that seriously? Will it make a difference to you? Will you enjoy it? You'll enjoy it. You might enjoy it, right? That's what social media does. It's instant pleasure, no? It's instant gratification. But is it adding value to your life? Will that man who just, appreciated you has any relevance in your life? No. Please stay away. You don't know when you're going to get stuck into that. और फिर जिस दिन नहीं मिलेगी उस दिन आपका मूड खराब हो जाएगा. और फिर जब आपकी यहाँ शादियाँ होंगी, I don't know how many of you are married, probably not married at this age, but or have girlfriends and boyfriends, I'm sure you do, and then those relationships are going to suffer, then your marriages are going to suffer, your children are going to suffer. And why? Because you were not appreciated today. Because somebody didn't tell you every day, every 45 minutes, that you're doing very good, sir. Come on. Right? होता है कि नहीं होता है? चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? नहीं चाहिए. अब उसको डर लग रहा है, हाँ बोलूं ना बोलूं समझ नहीं आ रही. Seek validation, but seek it from those who are smarter than you. Seek who can add value to your life. Choose karo, select karo. Right? If tomorrow Raman sir tells me, Mira, what you're doing is very good, I'll be very happy. He's so senior. He has like 30, 40 years more experience than I do. He's seen far more life than I have. If he tells me, Mira, you're doing something right, I might actually think, okay, Mira, you're probably doing something right. Right? But I don't want everybody and anybody to tell me that. I don't need it. I am going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to be good at everything that I do. I'm not supposed to be. I'm not AI generated robot, right? अब तो मैं बोल सकती हूँ, पहले तो ये फ्रेज भी नहीं था ये, right? पहले तो भगवान बोलते थे लोग, मैं कोई भगवान हूँ, अब बोले कि मैं कोई रोबोट हूँ, AI से निकला हूँ. So it's please choose कि आप किन को अपने पास रखना चाहते हैं, जिनसे आप अपनी तारीफ सुनना चाहते हैं. उस तारीफ के लिए काम करिए, उस तारीफ के लिए मेहनत करिए, बिना मेहनत की तारीफ मत सुनिए. Literally, I'm telling you, in my organization, कोई तारीफ करता है ना तो उसको ऐसे देखा जाता है कि are you out of your mind? काम नहीं है, मतलब what's wrong? इस आदमी के पास काम नहीं है, इसको काम और दो. Literally. And there are people who have experience of Tricolite here. Appreciating something is a no. Why? Because improve it further, man. You haven't reached the best. Be humble, right? Very, very important. Very important, especially for the first 5-10 years of your entry into your, I mean, always important in life, but please पहले 10 साल के लिए अपना attitude और arrogance घर छोड़ के, right? Nobody needs it. You don't know anything, okay? And I'm not joking when I say anything. You might know something, but you don't know a large part of how that business has come to that level of where it is, where you have been given an entry to, right? बहुत बोरिंग लगता है कई बार आप सुनते हो योर फादर्स, आई मीन आई एम श्योर एवरीबडीज फादर्स हैज स्टोरीज ना, मैंने जब ज्वाइन किया था तब ऐसे होता था, मैं स्कूटर पे जाता था, मैं बस में घूमता था, मेरे पास ये. सुनिए कि नहीं सुनिए कहानियां? हाँ, सुनिए भैया, वो सच है. हमें उस टाइम पे सुनते वक्त ऐसे लगता है यार फिर से यही, अगेन दैट स्टोरी. हाँ, but we don't realize that that person who's our uncle or our dad or anybody has literally gone through that hardship. And it's true. And it must have been very painful for them. Right? So be empathetic. You can still laugh at it when you come outside, but be empathetic, right? It's true. Those stories are true. Right? So be humble. Be very, very humble. Let me tell you, in laws of nature, you absorb more when you are humble. Because you're emotionally, mentally, physically in a much more softer state of mind. So don't go in with the attitude कि यार मैं ये कस्टमर को मिल गया हूँ, मुझे सब पता चल गया ये क्या करता है. Your father or your uncle or somebody senior might still have 2 or 3 things that you don't know. Right? How are we doing on time? Be patient, okay? Like I said, that's the biggest thing I learned, guys. Be patient. And I was told, thoda aur. Abhi bhi, thoda aur. Okay. I'm still waiting, right? I'm just gonna very quickly go through this because I want to. I have 3 minutes out of 25 minutes. Can we extend my time? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So this seems like a very virtuous path, right? जो मैं बोल रही हूँ आप कहेंगे यार ये तो कोई साधु संत है, मतलब ये सब कुछ ठीक करो, गुस्सा भी मत करो, रिस्पॉन्ड भी मत करो, ईगो भी मत रखो, सुनो लोगों को, हम्बल रहो. मतलब भैया जी हम आश्रम से तो नहीं निकले हैं, राइट? हम MBA स्कूल गए थे, हम मास्टर्स यूनियन में पढ़ने आते हैं, हम आप मतलब व्हाट आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग आउट ऑफ अस, राइट? बट गाइस, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग आउट ऑफ यू. सही बात है वैसे, आई कम्प्लीटली अग्री कि जरूरी नहीं है वो हम्बल हो, बट एक वो होता है ना कि अगर आप किसी स्पिरिचुअल या उससे निकले हैं तो यू प्रोबेबली हैव शेड योर ईगो मोर देन अ सिविलियन और यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू, माइट नॉट बी ट्रू. But if you have this virtuous path that we did, what came out for Tricolite, right? We have customers who are with us for the last 40 years. We have employees who are with us for the last 40 years. We have vendors who are with us for the last 40 years. The guy who was doing our loading, unloading of the products that we made when we were 15 crores is still doing it when we are 400 crores. He's grown with us, right? He's evolved with us. It's a brand of reliability and integrity. There's a board, there's a family. We are 3 people in it. We might have our differences, but on the external world, we are one voice. Again, a big life lesson, guys. If you have a difference, keep it inside the room. It's not supposed to come outside the room, right? So when you're standing with your seniors, and I'm referring to this word seniors, it could be your fathers or mothers or anybody that you're inheriting this business from, right? Be respectful. No difference of opinion publicly. Not at all, right? So one vision, one dream, you can go through it, right? We've got all the good that we could from this, right? It's a tested recipe, right? It's a time tested recipe. Follow it. This is what I really want you to take back. So that was my first slide about the title. This is my other slide that I really want you to take back. Build your foundation. I know spirituality is not a fad on social media. I know nobody likes it. Okay, people don't understand. It's not religion. It doesn't matter who you worship. It doesn't matter आप पूजा करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं, आप मंदिर मस्जिद गुरुद्वारे चर्च जाते हैं या नहीं जाते हैं, इससे इसका कोई connection नहीं है, right? What it means to me, I'm gonna tell you, right? It has no meaning of I believe in God, I don't believe in God. That's completely your prerogative, right? But understand laws of karma. Understand what doing good means, what it means that karma comes back. इसका मतलब क्या होता है, right? Understand what is the law of least effort. हाँ, but ये क्या होता है? ये मेरी लाइफ में कैसे आता है? मैं हर रोज जब काम पे जाऊं, मैं इसको कैसे समझूं? मेरा कस्टमर आज मेरे से नाराज है, इसका क्या मतलब है? How do I connect the two? Right? मेरे स्टोर से चोरी हो गई. How do I connect? Understand this. How does nature work? मेरे पास इसके जवाब नहीं है. I mean, I'm not going to get into the answers of this, but I want you to think about these questions. And I want you as individuals to understand what is it to be spiritual, not religious. Answer is always there, sir. But I mean, I already have only 3 minutes left. So if I get into that, all I'm saying is I want everybody here in this room to understand that to live those life lessons, I could have not done it if I was not given this training. And literally, I'm telling you, when I was 12 years old, we had a Bhagavad Gita Vedanta teacher who used to come to our house, and I used to hate it because every Sunday, my mother used to tell me, क्लास होने वाली है गीता की, चुप करके बैठ जाओ, नहीं भी समझ में आएगा तो कोई बात नहीं है, पर बैठना पड़ेगा. और कोई फोन नहीं होता था उस टाइम पे. अभी तो बहुत आसान है, ऐसे करके बैठ जाओ, ऊपर भी सर उठाने की जरूरत नहीं है, फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता बाहर दुनिया में क्या होता है, राइट? जब वहां बैठना पड़ता था तो बैठना पड़ता था, सो भी नहीं सकते थे, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था. I was 12 years old, and it happened for 10 years of my life. The same teacher, the same Sunday, 6 o'clock, have to sit down, have to listen to him, right? But then I later understood what did he mean. वो बोल क्या रहे थे? वो मुझे दिखता था होते हुए, मुझे समझ में आता था, but उस टाइम नहीं आता था. It happened much later. I don't know who you're, wherever you do this from, guys, but invest in understanding some basic laws of life. right? It'll make life much easier for you, much easier for you. ये last question तो was, मतलब it was a torture for me. You know, scriptures में बोलते हैं प्रारब्ध और संचित वासना. I mean, you can look at that later. What is free will and what is destiny? I'm part of my family business because of my free will or because of my destiny? I don't know. Okay. My last bit and my favorite subject, personal favorite, with mindfulness. Right? Be mindful. I'm not talking to you about how to do. He's already taught you HR. He's taught you balance scorecard. He's taught you vision. Tarun's already taught you digital, right? You have all the ingredients. I'm just telling you to be a good leader, to be a good inheritor of business, to understand family business, you have to understand life. Okay? It's probably as needed as in the corporates, but I personally have no experience of working in a corporate. I have been born, brought up on the shop floor, so I only understand that. पर मुझे पता है कि अगर मेरे को ये नहीं पता होता तो मैं या तो मेरा डाइवोर्स हो चुका होता, मेरा पति मुझे छोड़ के जा चुका था, या मैं अपने माँ बाप के घर से भाग जाती, राइट? क्योंकि मुझे समझ ही नहीं आती थी of how to handle my own emotions, how to handle my own ambition. What is my purpose? क्या करना है मेरे को यहाँ पे? मेरा वैल्यू एड क्या है? Right? Painful questions, guys. It's not going to be easy. But don't be scared. So be mindful. Be mindful of what you see. What is being mindful? It's just, in one word, it's just to observe without a judgment. When you observe without judgment, you're being mindful. Okay, so I promised Rajiv that in the last 5 minutes, we will do a small mindfulness exercise. Can we? So guys, I want you to again put all the stuff away from you. We are going to do a 5-7 minute meditation. I won't make it long. And I promise you won't sleep. Just put your phones away, put them on silent, take your glasses off. Make sure you're not sitting cross-legged, right? Get your back erect. Put your hands, don't cross your hands. They can be like this, they can be like this. This is better. Find a comfortable spot, okay? Find your space. Find your space. Close your eyes. Can we close these lights, please? Just relax, okay? You've had a long day. You've heard so much. Just relax and breathe. And close your eyes. That's it. Nothing's going to change in 5 to 10 minutes of your closing your eyes. The world is still going to be the same, right? So trust yourself. Close your eyes. You might be more comfortable taking your glasses off. Breathe. Just breathe. I don't want you to do anything. Don't put any pressure. Just breathe. Just feel the breath coming up and feel the breath going down. That's it. Breathe in and out. Just keep your eyes closed. Next time you breathe out from your mouth. Take a deep breath in and breathe out from your mouth. Again, breathe in and breathe out from your mouth. Breathe in and out. And now, when you're breathing out, I want you to imagine that from your toes, slowly, slowly, all the way up, all the tension and anxiety that's in your legs, in your toes, in your knees, in your thighs, in your waist, in your lower back, right? In your stomach, in your chest, is slowly coming out of your out breath from your mouth. So once again, when you breathe out next time, picture that anything that is stuck in your toes and feet, in your ankles, in your legs, in your knees, and you're slowly, gently, with no push, no aggression, but very gently, you're just kind of moving out of your body and bringing it all the way up and then pushing it out of your mouth. Similarly, imagine all the negativity and tension that's in your arms, in your fingers, in your wrist, your elbows, your forearms, your shoulders, your neck. It's just coming out, and push it out with your breath through your mouth. We'll go to the head. Anything that's making your head heavy, your eyes heavy, your temples, your nose, your cheeks, your chin. Push it out of your mouth with the outgoing breath. You're all clean. You're very clean. And just breathe. Just breathe and be with yourself. Don't judge. Don't judge yourself. Don't worry about if anybody's looking at you. I promise everybody has their eyes closed. It's okay. And let go. Let go. Feel light. Feel free. It's only you. It's only you. If you're getting distracted, try breathing out with your mouth again. It'll center you back. Come back. With your arms open and facing upwards, place them on your knees on the side of your seats. And see if you can feel an energy on your palm. With every breath, it's nature. It's there right here, giving you. Absorb. Take that power. Take that energy. Feel the slight tingling on your palms. Do you feel that slight pressure? If there's something there, but you don't know what. Let it go inside. Just observe and say to yourself, for whatever reason you came here today, may that be fulfilled, right? And I will go back happier, fuller, and more mindful, more aware. Feel the pressure, the slight tingling on your arms and on your palms. And take a deep breath in, and come back. Slowly come back. Very slowly, gently move your fingers. Right? And whenever you're ready, slowly, gently come back. Right? Good to have you guys back. So that's it, guys. That was my story. I hope it adds value to your life. Mhm.
Do I need this? Okay, guys. So this is really the last session, and thank you, Meera ji, for starting your session by changing the energy and then putting us in a trance. So I'm little groggy, but I'll still try to speak. Okay, नहीं ये नहीं है. This is not the one. उसी में है. This same one which is continuing. Okay, so in this session, we are just going to summarize what we learned, and we're not going to take too much time because I know everybody's exhausted. So let's go. Yeah. This everybody remembers, right? The three circles. Okay. And then what did we do after that? So just start from the top. So we looked at direction and dashboard. Okay. And we also said that it's not just enough to have a direction or dashboard. You have to get your people piece right. And then we talked about family dynamics, self mastery. And to do all this, we had digitization in between. So, digitization is kind of that bridge or link that sort of takes care of all these elements in a transparent and accurate way. But as we saw, that if you want breakthrough, if you want to do something really different, which is kind of outside the current ambit of things, then also you may need to use AI, right? And then we also talked about wealth creation. And I've just to, refresh your memory, who talked about what? Okay. So direction, I talked about in the beginning, and then Tushar talked about. And then dashboard, Raman sir had explained, and again Tushar.
Digitization, I think everybody enjoyed that session of Tarun. When I just went out, I was hearing a lot of people talk about your session. They loved the videos. People, Avishkar took us through all the building blocks of what does it take to get the people piece right. Meeraji talked about family dynamics. And of course, Tushar also talked about what happened when he came back. How did he deal with it? The extreme step of saying, thanks a lot. I'm packing my bags, and then staying back for so many years. And of course, Meeraji also talked about her own challenges. As she was speaking, you could really make out that if there was even 20-30% less of patients, then the outcome would have been very different from what you saw on the extreme right. Okay. And then self mastery, I talked a little bit, and I think Meeraji talked about that again, that, you know, whatever we talk about in self, it's not going to happen by reading books. It's very good to have patience. It's very good not to get angry, behave with people. ऐसे होने वाला नहीं है. And that's why we said that it has some other element which we talked about and experienced. And then we talked about wealth creation and growth. Okay. So just packing all this in a day, we started at what, 12:30? I think was by the time we started, and right now it's 6, and we also had 1 hour in between. So I think, yes, it was an extended session, but I think we packed in quite a lot. And we just wanted you to see this storyline once again so that it stays in your head as to how this all builds up. Next. Okay. So we covered certain things in a day, but if we really want that transformation to happen in our business, we don't have a magic wand. Neither we are Buddha nor Harry Potter fans. So it takes time, effort, lot of tapasya, lot of investment of your time, your family's time to really transform things. And for that, we are launching this Family Business Transformation Program. Now, what is this program? How will it run? What does it have? So, to explain that, I will request Mr. Nikhil Mittal, Director of Masters Union, to come on the stage and explain this program.
Thank you, Rajesh. We like to first thank each and everyone, right from Masters Union, every person who has been here today, share their thoughts, their vision, and be an extremely patient listener. It takes a lot to spend a day, share a Saturday with anyone. I would like to thank each and everyone who has been here today. So I talk, take 2 minutes, talk about Masters Union first, and then talk about this particular program. So Masters Union, Pratham gave the keynote speech, started 5 years back. The main motto is like learning by doing. Our MBA program or the other programs primarily promotes an outclass activity in each and every term, where a student is actually performing a business or something else, and the in-class programs are attuned to what the outcome of the outclass program is. Now, Pratham being from the family business, third generation, no?
Yep.
Third generation, setting up different businesses from lovely sweets to LBU. And he humbly did not tell you, they are the second largest Maruti dealer in India. So, LBU Motors and various other businesses also going on. Wanted to actually create something, and Sir's vision also came in along meanwhile, especially for family business owners and transformers, successors, to create a program that will help them in a unique manner and that resolves around their problems in life, how do they spend their time in the business, how to create your next in command, how to train your team, how to measure their KPIs. So as you have a program, especially for those folks who are actually running their family business or actually about to join the family. It would not be for someone like me, but someone like you who has been in the family business. That's how the ideology of the program has been. How it shaped up as a program as you are seeing it today, and obviously we are evolving as you progress further. So the program has been designed in a blended manner. There will be more of online classes, in-person classes every 16 2 weeks on campus also. Uh, it will be like tentatively February or March, it will be launching. It will be a 12-month program. There will be few international immersions also. Two international immersions. We'll go through that, like the whole journey, how the program is designed, and obviously, like it is for you guys, like who has been in the family business. Not for, it's not an MBA. Let me put it that way. If you want to do an MBA, there would be a different program somewhere else. But this is exclusively for someone who is owning a family business or is about to join a family business. Sir, you want to?
No, please go ahead.
So we have not divided this program into terms or something else. We have divided this program into phases. There are no subjects or there are no exams or something like that, like a typical MBA program. But there would be certain kind of an outcome after each phase, which might be a capstone project, which might be a typical problem you are facing in your particular business. At the start of every phase, you post 2 3 problems with us. Hey, I'm having a problem in digitization. Having a problem in succession planning, family harmony. They can be unique problems to different businesses. They can be a problem like, how do I retain my distributors? How do I establish more distributors across South? How do I establish something else which might be very unique to your business? So we will take those problems from you every start of every phase, work on them, work on them with you guys. Again, try to find solutions. We'll not be a consulting agency, but we try to find solutions and talk about those things over the classroom programs, in-class programs also during the session. Again, to international immersion, will come back to that. And anything you would like to pitch in particular?
Please go ahead.
Again, true to our Masters Union, will be teaching this program uh, by family business owners, successors, or the CEOs as the experts. Like there would not be, this would not be taught by professors, like maybe few professors who have been experts in this field, but most of the program would be delivered by someone like the speakers who have listened today, in terms of industrialists who have actually been there, done that. That's how the program has been designed. There would be a one global immersion across Europe. That would be majorly in Italy. We would be visiting H Farm. They have a beautiful campus at Venice. We'll be going to some of the legacy businesses in Italy, maybe Ferrari, how they built that business into a legacy business, maybe Fendi, maybe Prosecco Ventures, who is the largest.
Not just a random sort of listing of things. We first started with, is there really a need for such a program? It's not that we just thought of it from out of the blue. So, partly my book and partly my work experience and the people I work with, this was coming out very loud and clear that, and as I said earlier, that it's also about how our country is growing. And you heard few business owners, even hiring an employee who gets X amount of salary by an SME sector was unheard of, right? There wasn't so much spare money, so to say, to think about process, people, the sort of high end stuff. It was kind of day to day battle and survival. So the way India is growing, and then we talked to almost 100 business owners and we asked them, what is your current problem, right? And we got that listing. Then we said, how do you solve for it? So they said, look, we hire consultants, we hire advisors, but board members, sometimes, especially in smaller companies, they're all sort of extended family. And do consultants work? No, our existing team gets threatened. Do advisors work? Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work because they don't have accountability. So what do? We send them to a business school program. It's taught by professors. So looking at all the problems, the existing solutions, we said, is there a need to create something different? And we looked at the programs that are available in India and overseas. Okay, right from whatever the best business schools you can think of, okay, in the West and in the East and in India. And then we said, look, one thing that is very clear, that a businessman learns best from a businessman. Yes or no? Credibility ज़्यादा होती है. भैया आपने किया क्या कभी? आप मुझे समझा रहे हो? Have you ever run it? So we said, let business owners come in. But then why get somebody else? So the other people who are going to teach in this program are the ones who have worked shoulder to shoulder with those industrialists or businessmen or whatever you call it to scale the company, right? This jugalbandi, this kind of thing is what makes large companies. So that's why the people who are teaching here either have run businesses or work very closely with business owners. And why China, why Europe? It's not that we could have, there are many countries in the world, right? We could have taken anything, but why would we choose this? Any guess why Italy? I mean, anybody can guess? Looks fancy, right? अच्छी जगह है जाने के लिए. So if you study, the oldest family businesses are in a certain geography in the world, right? Especially the luxury brands. And therefore we said, we did a lot of research and we had some connections. Masters Union Nickel sort of has been, in touch with some people. And we said, can the business owners who've been around for 200 years come and share? Well, I mean, how did it happen? So that's why we chose that. And China, because not merely that we are going to get people from manufacturing, right? Even people who are traders, wholesalers, IT, you name it. So therefore we said, let's take a combination of East and West. The other second last line, this is the only program globally that is saying, look, I am a second or third gen person, 30-year old, right? I have a father, uncle, grandfather sometimes. But another very important thing, and some of the industrialists that I interviewed, what they said is, look, my sort of COO or CEO has been around for 20-25 years. He has the blessings of my father and my grandfather. And he's he's like an owner only. How will I survive? How do you get the old school to move, right? So we are doing this program so that you finally get results. What's the use of teaching something if it doesn't, so managing on top, right? Managing sort of your below and managing in the middle. So these are the things. And what I talked about, again, this is the only program which is equal balance to hard and soft. It's not that, okay, 2 lectures on soft, there's something to show. No, I mean, it's kind of an equal balance between the hard and soft, because the soft things, if not managed, can cause bigger disaster than the hard stuff. Okay. So what will really happen, okay, in this program. So these are just some acronyms, okay. Acronyms are easier to remember right from the time we had everybody studied trigonometry, right? So formulas ke liye. So 3Ds. So if you do direction, dashboard, and discipline, right, then what will you achieve? You will achieve success, scale, and sustainability. Okay, understand the difference between three words. And I had to get in some R, okay, not because my name starts with R, but it's just rejoice, okay, respect, and remembered. So the business owners, especially who are second or third gen, will connect with this, that once you achieve a certain net worth, right, and it can be different for different families, okay, 50 crores, 100, 200, 500, but once you reach a critical mass, then although the business family and owners seem to be chasing money, but if you sort of can do a surgery of their brain and deep psychology and cut their heart and mind and create a good cocktail, what they are basically looking for is to be remembered. मेरी आगे वाली जनरेशन मुझे कैसे याद करेगी? What does my society think about me? So we may call it legacy, we may call it respect or whatever, but actually it is that they've already sort of overcome, how many cars can you buy, how many houses can you live in, how many foreign trips. So this course we are also going to talk about, your generation ahead, that respect and remembered piece, because that has to get fixed. If that doesn't get fixed, you will not be allowed to work. Okay, so this part, so again, this is what we are trying to do.
So as we said, masters, 90% of the program we are inclined towards being taught by industry practitioners, CXOs, who have done that, been there, obviously, and are in continuous practice in the industry. Like it is not being taught by. That's how the name Masters Union comes. And this program is like the same. This program is not only about CXOs teaching in the program; it's more about industrialists teaching in the program. Now, obviously, like a CXO will know XYZ amount for a business, or a CMO will know XYZ things about a business, but running a full business end to end, which is obviously you putting your own hard money, hard-earned money into the business, brings out a different ball game. And this would be taught majorly by industrialists who have been there, done that, and obviously, as I said, by some people who have been working shoulder to shoulder with these industrialists across uh, across the tenure. Now, these are some tentative names, confirmed names, but obviously there would be much more who would be teaching the program. We are in talks with a lot of I cannot, if I don't know if I should name someone like Nikhil Nanda or someone like that. We are in talks who might be teaching in this program. But these are some confirmed names who we have already onboarded to teach the program in their specific subjects. And it's not a master class, 1 hour master class or 2 hour master class. They would be having a full-fledged curriculum, like a 5 hours, 10 hours curriculum. Each subject they are teaching, they would be a vetted curriculum which they would be delivering for the class. Like it would not be like a sharing their experiences or something like that.
I think this is a very important point, Nikhil has made. So whatever study we did and talked to, the IMs particularly and ISB, and also some of the foreign colleges, when you get a veteran of the industry, you can't control what they're speaking. Firstly, you agree to bring them on board, right? And then you tell them this is what you have to speak. He'll say, no, no, thank you. I'm not interested. So I think what he's talking about is this whole thing is well curated. Like today's presentations, so we had three industrialists, and you can check with them. I mean, their presentation was pre-seen, pre-sort of, and it had to be stitched. So point over here is it's not nothing is random in this program. And if you see the profiles of these people, you'll understand what we are talking about. So I think that's a very important point. The whole thing is well curated, well thought about, so that you get a consistent and coherent message.
Yeah. Again, some of the key highlights, as I mentioned, we'll be taking, there would be one guided tour for Canton Fair, like which generally happens in October in China, but it's twice a year. Second, 100-year legacy companies across Italy, majorly near Venice, as I mentioned, Prosecco Ventures, maybe Ferrari. Names might differ, but they would be like 100, 200-year businesses, like, and we'll be talking to their business owners, how they have shaped their particular business in that part of geography, and obviously bring those learnings for our businesses. Third, again, at Edge Farm, which is a campus based out of Venice, Italy, we would be having some of the key delivery subjects being taught there, like by the professors who have been there in that particular geography, in that industry, working across luxury brands or somewhere else, which would be a unique feature because, like, we at India at MBA B schools, we hear a lot about Tatas, Teslas, etc. But it would be a different perspective to hear from that part of geography, hey, how Italy has brought the best of the best cars around the world, how Italy has brought one of the best fashion brands around the world. So those perspectives would be given in this particular program, uh, in this 12 months program. Again, we have spoken about this, some of the leading industrialists. Rajiv sir is being very humble. Have you told them about your book?
Yeah. No.
Okay. So some people who have actually managed their family businesses, and again, I keep on repeating this: people who have managed their family businesses and or have worked shoulder to shoulder with the MDs of the family businesses will be teaching in this program. If you want to throw more light.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you just see anybody who's interested in this program should definitely go and see LinkedIn profile or whatever of the faculty. Whatever is on the website, I mean, unless there's an emergency, all of them are going to show up. And we are going to get some, even higher profile names and till we get a sort of confirmation. So if you see these people, I mean, these two people on the left, I mean, they're very, very respected names in the industry in which they are, and they have cracked the code on the business and the society, right? What we talked about. Okay. Yeah.
So we go beyond the classroom teaching actually. Uh, how does one network across family businesses? There are a lot of organizations which who might be aware of, who even might not be aware of, like YPO, FBN, CII, Entrepreneurs Organization, and there would be a lot more. How to get entry into these organizations? Some might be available to us based on our turnovers. Some might not be available to us. So we'll be focusing across some of the bigger names, smaller names across industries, your in particular industries. Hey, how do you step into these particular organizations to have that sort of network for you? Network helps. It helps at Masters Union, obviously. A lot of people who teach at Masters Union speak about it, and then the word spreads. A lot of masters come, new masters come at the end of the day with the network. So this network you need to build in your family businesses, like in order to thrive, obviously, the next 10, 20, 30, 40 odd years, which will help you uh, build that kind of reliance. Like, hey, you might agree with me. Uh, at the top, there's no one to consult most of the times. Like if you have to think by yourself, you have to consult yourself whether this decision is right, whether this decision would be wrong. If that sort of network is there, as Miraji said, you need to have a mentor. Sometimes you need to ask questions from the right people. So get how to get foot into these particular organizations where you can find those people. Obviously, you have to build your own path. You will have to build your own relationships with them. But how to set foot into these particular organizations, which will help you eventually, will take you through that. And self management, as sir said, like family harmony, how to manage your uh, whims and fancies when you are working with a 40-year-old CEO and you are 25 years old. You need to have a different kind of relationship with them. You cannot be like obviously obviously like a child, asking things from them. At the same time, you will have to get things done from them. So how to manage your time, how to manage your style of working. So that comes at the softer aspects of this particular course, which would be like reflecting upon during this particular program. So two unique features during this program. Obviously, we'll be having residencies, international residencies, and every 6 weeks, a cumulative residency with everyone. But two unique residencies where we one of a kind where you meet where you take your next in command, your Muneen ji or jo bhi hain aapke, you take them with you, and obviously we'll have some KPIs, some metrics, how to define culture, chief of staff, how to manage your organization. We'll have a dedicated time with them so that like they become the best of you. They become the best version of you. At least we'll try to do that. Second, we'll also have one residency with your family business partner. It can be a husband, it can be a wife, it can be a father, it can be a brother. Because obviously, a family business sometimes would not be managed by one of the folks, it would be managed by different people. So everyone should be on board. That's why these are two unique aspects where like 2 weekends will spend one with your next in command, one with your family business partner, and obviously have some immersive sessions with them. I let Rajiv ji talk about
Okay.
curriculum.
So here what we are doing is we've tried to show you a glimpse of the curriculum, right? So as you can see on the top, phase one, phase two, phase three. And the six building blocks, three and then other three inside them. Like in business, we had some, in family, we had the wealth part. So we have divided this in such a manner that when you come for any residency, we are balancing all these elements and they are sequentially well structured. So that's what we are trying to show over here. So the kind of subjects we'll be teaching, will cover dashboard, technology, people management, and also when we talked about this Hogan and Hart styles, it is also going to give you a glimpse of you can come to know that what is my behavior, but why are you behaving like that, and how is it affecting your organization. So those are the kind of things where we are going to deep dive.
So yeah, these are one of the three capstones. Maybe
Okay. So see, this is a application oriented program. What is an application oriented program? So today we had only 1.5 hours and 4 topics, but we just try to give you a very small taste. What we are going to do is after every residency, and when you come back in between the two residencies, whatever we are teaching, you will take a actual problem or issue in your company and apply it there. And we are going to have weekly classes where we'll be sort of discussing. So that is, let's call it assignment. But that's not enough, because in, as I just explained, in one residency maybe we'll cover certain aspects of certain courses, second residency something else. But finally, when you've sort of covered almost 80% of the course, including the international immersion, then we are going to say, pick up one teething problem in your organization that needs to be solved and you have not been able to solve it, and apply all the tools that you have learned, all the exposure you have got. But when you start solving it, and as Raman sir was explaining, it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you will not get the right questions. Sometimes you will not get the right root cause analysis. Suppose you get the right, root cause analysis, your team may not support you. So to help you to actually implement that capstone, the 4 faculty who were there in the immersion, each of them, you will get 1 hour of one-on-one coaching. If more is required, we can think about it, but 4 hours of one-on-one coaching with each of the four is part of the program, so that when you start executing the capstone project, face unique challenges to your organization, which obviously are not so much relevant to the others, so that at the end of the program, you not only have assignment, but you have something solved. Okay, so that's the whole idea over here. Okay.
I guess that's it from for today. Any questions, queries, we're happy to take like here over the IT. Uh, that's it. One more thing at the end I would like to mention, uh, apart from thank you, vote of thanks, etc. So with this program, we're also taking a leap by uh, establishing a board of governors only for family business transformation. Uh, Rajiv, Mr. Rajiv Gupta will lead that board of governors, but there would be specialized people uh, uh, who would be part of board across industries that would be across retail, manufacturing, automotive, like different industries. And then those board of governors would be accessible like obviously on a monthly or a fortnightly basis for each and every one of you who is a part of the program to obviously discuss your business problems and find tentative solutions from them or the next steps of guidance from them. Hey, this might be the right step towards this particular problem. That might be a digitization, that might be uh, some succession planning, that might be something else, finding tools for the right people for succession planning or anything else. So this board of governors would be established only and only for family business transformation folks uh, who are a part of this program, and obviously Rajiv sir will lead that chair. Thanks.
Thank you. That's it.
Thanks
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I'm announcing.
You want to say something? No, sir. Leave my
A big thank you to Mr. Rajiv Gupta and Mr. Nikhil Mittal for wrapping up today's event.